Hello, friends. I am your commander, General Laxivrak, and welcome to the mothership this evening, where we approve of aliens of all species. Here we have some sort of alien doctor with a fucked up hand. Here we have some very cool Britons. If you can see these figures in the front here, which are what, 1/32nd scale, maybe? And these people on these horses here, those just came in, the mail from our good friend, Mark, at Blue Harvest. And he found those over in England. And he showed me a picture, and he said, hey man, these look pretty cool. I think these are, like 1950s vintage Britons. And I said, fuck yeah, dude. The price was good too. You don't see them like this for sale in this country hardly at all. But it's a good price. So we picked them up. That one of a slightly different color is actually not from this lot. That's from the 70s. But look at some of these. So thank you, Blue Harvest. There's a Mailuron Mail Run episode of these figures. Look for it coming out. I think this video is going to be a review video on our good friend Swamp Thing. Swamp Thing by McFarlane, DC Universe Megafig. Swamp Thing. Very awesome figure. This figure right here, we can thank ROlando for. ROlando Flores. Or as my new friend Darth Blaze would say, ROlando! Anyway, yeah, ROlando, the space Bandito. He's a cool motherfucker. You all know him. He found this Swamp Thing for me. It's a great figure. It was a little stiff. It was a little stiff at first. I've already lost the stand that it came with, which it really truly needs a stand most of the time. But I have to admit, the stand that it came with is not. The stand that it comes with is not that. It's not hot shit. So you might as well just get your own stand or get used to trying to really pose it. Can y'all hear all that construction in the background? It's like midnight here on the mothership. We're not in orbit, we've landed. But we landed in a terrible place because there's obviously some sort of construction going on. It's ridiculous. So, welcome to the mothership. This is a cool figure. It was a little stiff. I did not think that this head moved as much as it does. Look, there you go. See that? I didn't think it could look like that, right? And when I finally got it to move, I thought I broke it. But it was just stiff. And I didn't put a fucking thing on. What's it called? A hair dryer? I didn't do any of that. Cool figure. This toe articulation, which I do like in this Phantom for whatever reason, it's a hindrance in a figure this large. This figure is very large and very heavy. You dig what I'm saying? And because of that, it just the toe articulation. The toe articulation does not help. The toe articulation is unnecessary. In any figure this large. Like, I don't know what kind of posing you need that toe for. This was a great show, by the way. I was living in the wilderness in Alaska when this show came out, and I didn't even know this was a thing. But I do love Swamp Thing. Again, much like the Phantom hanging out over there, Swamp Thing is something that I bonded over. I'm just changing his pose and putting in his other arm and shit. Check this out. This fucking toe articulation is fucking bullshit. So yeah. I think it would have been really cool, and like I didn't force anything here yet, but this hand that you replace with this stabby thing, this is a much cooler hand than this hand. I wish this was made for this side, or that this hand was made like this, because I see this figure using this hand as like a choke around somebody's neck, and then fucking like goring them with this thing, right? But this is not as believable as hand for doing that. So he can be like gorilla monsooning, like the pose we just saw, right, was like gorilla monsoon fucking trapezius choke. So they were down on the ground. And then this will be more like a fucking Andre the Giant choke slam kind of a... Hey, while we're thinking about it, look, everybody go to the video called 100 Giveaway, all right? And I'm going to put this in the title, like hashtag giveaway, giveaway update. Go to that video called Thanks for the 100. Drop a comment in that video, and I will enter you in our 100 subscriber giveaway, which we are having. Don't think we haven't had that. We're not going to have it. But we are going to close registration on that you have 3 days from the day that this video has dropped, which is November. I don't even know what the fucking day is. How about that? Look at the fucking... I will put it in the description. Alright, it's dark outside, and whoop whoop, and those cops are not... Oh, they're not looking for me. I've been here all day. I've been here all day, folks. I've been here all day, and I can't get my car out because of the construction. You know what I'm saying? That sounds pretty good. Anyway, go to that video and comment if you want to be entered in my giveaway. Alright, because we're closing that motherfucker down. That is an order from General Lack Sivrak. And then we will have a giveaway. I might make a spinny wheel. I don't know. I might just put everybody's name in a hat and draw it out, you know? Because I don't know what I'm going to do yet. But hey, that's just an update on the giveaway. This video is more about this guy. And it's not going to be long. I'm not going to waffle on here for 30 minutes. I just wanted to... I wanted to give a shout out to ROlando again for finding this figure. I couldn't find him. Even on Amazon, like they had some ones on Amazon that were fairly affordable, but they were gray colored. And like I thought that was bullshit. You know, who wants a gray Swamp Thing? I think it's a real shame they canceled this show. I like Swamp Thing, and the show was... I didn't like the show at first, but by the time it was over, I was like, damn, that actually was pretty good, you know? Why didn't I like it at first? I don't know. It was maybe being a little too Stranger Things. You know, a little too paranormal in places. Oh, and the southern accents in that show were awful. Like, I'm not a southerner. I do have blood in my family that it does come from the South, and so I have relatives that are from the South, and there's like there's different kinds of Southerners, you know, and then there's different kinds of Southerners, and there's different kind of Southerners, but none of them were in that fucking Swamp Thing movie. My God, Jesus fucking Christ, worst they don't have voice actors in fucking Hollywood anymore. Anyway, that made me sick. Has anybody ever been to New Orleans? I mean, I don't know. Oh, I want to set this straight. There's a radio station called Rick and Bubba, and I'm sure people out there know this, and they make their living on being, I'm going to say it, these motherfuckers make their living on pretending to be rednecks, pretending to be country fuckers. And the one way I know that they're not country fuckers is they say pecan. And only Yankees say pecan. Now, I'm from Alaska, and I claim native, because I mean, it's kind of 50-50, you know, I could claim whatever. It's probably 40-60, actually, because my grandparents who claimed to be native were not full native. That's the other thing, too. There's a lot of natives out there carrying their quantum cards and everything, and they're like old elders, and like all their fucking grandparents were white. So let's not fucking talk shit about this half-breed shit. You know, that's hater bullshit. This ain't none of us pure no more, motherfuckers. You lying sacks of shit. You know, go take some more... Go fucking take your fucking casino money while the rest of your people goddamn fucking live in goddamn cardboard boxes, you fucking concrete casino motherfuckers. Whatever. You do your fucking hunting, you know, with a goddamn food stamp card. You fucking... You're not no fucking real native. This guy's pretty cool, though, if you're a native, because he's like one with the earth and everything. And like Captain Planet, you know, I don't know about that guy, but Gaia definitely would have thought Swamp Thing was cool. And Swamp Thing is definitely invincible, right? Like Superman is super, but Krypton will kill him and all, and Wolverine's cool, but he's dead and everything. But like, you can't kill Swamp Thing, and I don't give a fuck what Marvel or whatever movie you want to. But like, until the world blows up and everyone's gone and there's no movie to watch, Swamp Thing will be there. Swamp Thing, I think, is originally from, 1971? Very cool. Also something my dad was pretty old by 1971, but I remember as a kid, me and him bonding. You know, this was another character that me and my father, you know, he said, oh, Swamp Thing's cool. And I was like, oh, yeah, let's watch Swamp Thing. You know, and there were some things I thought was cool. I'm like, hey, you know, like, hey, Dad, you want to watch this Spider-Man movie, like the original Spider-Man movie? And he'd be like, no, son, I don't want to watch Spider-Man. I don't like Spider-Man. And I'd say, okay, Dad, and I'd watch Spider-Man. And then by the time the movie was over, I was like, yeah, I don't think I like Spider-Man either. You know, I don't know. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. Maybe I was just following my dad's footsteps, but whatever. But look, here's two cool characters that are my dad through and through. The Phantom, which maybe we'll do another review on this guy where we'll actually switch hands and pose him and stuff. And then Swamp Thing. In my first video about Phantom, I wasn't sure, but later I looked up. The Phantom is considered the very first actual superhero. And he's a superhero and he's the first superhero that we are considering a superhero. This is the internet telling us this, right? So one half dozen or the other, because the internet is full of fucking bullshit. Do you know that there's a whole generation between millennials and X called Generation Y, and nobody tries to talk about them, and that's what I am. But motherfuckers try to tell you, oh, you're a millennial, and like, no, I'm not, because we were called Generation Y long before millennial was ever a term. And to be a millennial, you have to be born in the year 2000 or after. You dig what I'm like? I don't give a fuck what the internet says, and I don't give a fuck what you think. And because what you think is brainwashed into you because of what the internet says. How'd you like that catch? I heard him falling. It's that fucking toe articulation, though. Let's put him in a different stance. That fucking toe articulation is unnecessary. Anyway, I can go on and on. I don't remember what we were talking about now. I'm sorry. I was pissed off about the generation thing. That's been pissing me off for a long time, because that's just not... It's so fucked up that other people tell you what you are. I hate that. Does anybody else hate that? Like, everything is all about these labels and these fucking... And motherfuckers try to label me, and it's like, motherfucker, I don't even know myself, and I don't know what I want to do, and I've done so much different shit, and fucking shit I'm so confused about, and I don't know, like, I know what I believe, and like, if a situation occurs, I know what I would fucking fight for, or die for, or whatever, and a lot of that might not think about it until the situation arises, right? It's like the Russian, what's that, depression, you know, of the 1880s or whatever, right? Like, those people never imagined eating their own fucking children, right? But they did. And I'm just saying, like, when the going gets tough, the tough get going, and most of the time you don't debate that, right? Like, I have some friends that are vegans. Shout out if you're listening, and I love you people. And they're cool, but one time I thought, and I said it to my friend out loud, who was a little offended, but I get it, but we're on the same page, and it's fine. But, like, because we're all, like, I wouldn't say survivalists and preppers, you know, but we're not stupid. But I told my friends who are vegans, I said, you know, if the, quote, end of the world happens, which that's just a term, but, like, you know, if you actually have to use your 22 that you have 5,000 rounds of ammunition for, like, what are you going to use it for? Like, you're going to have to eat some squirrels. You know that, right? You know, like, I don't know. A man cannot live by rabbit alone. Luckily for fucking jacks. Anyway, hey, we're on 16 minutes. I just wanted to say Rolando, the space bandito. Thanks again for this fucking swamp thing, dude. I like to go to this place called Ponce de Leon State Park. It's about an hour from where I live. And I'm going to go there and take some photos with this guy. I just think it'd look so cool there. Any suggestions? I want to buy another figure from this line for him to fight. I've talked to ROlando about that, but does anybody have any suggestions? I don't know why I can't say double G's. Suggestions. Does anybody have any? You know, me and ROlando. Or, hey, look, any other toy that is this scale that might fit fighting Swamp Thing. I don't want to get the Swamp Thing with the horns, which I think is the bad guy in that show, right? And, of course, in the original Swamp Thing fought military guys. Like, they were paramilitary, but whatever. They were... Essentially, you would get like a 12-inch woodland camouflaged generic G.I. Joe, and that's the first movie from the 80s. And I don't remember the second... I mean, I remember the second movie, but I don't remember who they fought. I'm sure it was just other paramilitary weirdos. Spawn infiltrate executor, I don't remember. Give me some ideas of who this guy can fight. I want to buy another guy in this line. I don't think it should be a good guy. It has to be a bad guy, you know. Crocmaster may be cool, or not Crocmaster. Oh god, what's a Killer Croc? Killer Croc's in this line. He might be cool. The Man Bat might be cool. That ugly thing from Spawn with the two horns and the teeth. I don't know. I haven't figured it out yet. Any ideas, let me know. This is General Laxivrak, who's over here somewhere. And I'm also riding this Tauntaun. And just drink in all this wonderful... Look at all this wonderful toyness going on. We got customs. We got vintage 70s stuff. We got vintage 50s stuff from Mark Blue Harvest. We have that Phantom figure, which is fucking awesome. We have this Obi-Wan Kenobi that I just found. A person who I used to know pretty well, who I don't know anymore, gave me this. And I thought I lost it. Or threw it away in anger. But here it is. And it's cool. It's from 2017. I don't know. This is like a Walgreens exclusive. I don't remember. But I remember when they bought that. And I was like, what are you going to do with that? And they gave it to me later. Haha. Jax is a cool motherfucker. He's hanging out. And the whole point of the visit, the whole excuse to talk to you people on this lovely evening was about Swamp Thing. And ROlando. And to say, please, with a whole heart and with all love and respect, go to my giveaway video and comment on it and just say whatever the fuck. And I mean literally comment whatever the fuck. Because in about 3 days time from now, I'm closing that, and I'll put up another video that's just like a short or something that's only about that. But I'm giving you all the heads up. Here's been 20 minutes. The construction's getting bad. Thank you, ROlando, for finding this. Blue Harvest Mark, thank you so much for these. That video is not dropped yet. I'm still trying. I don't know. I was thinking about editing it. I don't know. It's just, these things are fucking cool. Anyway, hey, I'm blessed with good friends and with enough extra time on my hands to be able to talk to them, and enough extra money in my pocket to be able to buy cool shit like this, or cool shit like that Phantom, and cool shit like that Jax. I think Jax is cool. Shout out to Alex Bowman, Dylan, Gilster, Rozaf, Lobot, White Shadow, Edmund at Rebels, Reptiles, and Games. My grandfather, Edmund. Which is not the same Edmund at Rebels, Reptiles, and Games. But anyway, hey, this has been General Lax Sivrak on the mothership, who's about to blast with my fucking laser these cocksuckers out here going beep, beep, beep. But anyway, may the Great Spirit smile upon you and your loved ones, and we'll see you on down the trail. General Lax Sivrak, out.